to this story. U.S. Central Command is sending about 200 personnel to help Israel oversee the Trump-brokered ceasefire in Gaza. They're teaming up with other international forces on the ground to make sure everything goes smoothly. And joining us now is someone who knows a little bit about that on the battlefield, and it's Republican Senator Dave McCormick of Pennsylvania. He's also a member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Wanted to get your overall take on this plan, and can you describe what those 200 personnel would likely be doing?
Well, good morning, Dana. Yeah, this is extraordinary what's happening here. This peace agreement was almost unthinkable a month ago, and it would have never happened without the leadership of President Trump. And just think about all the things that had to happen to set the table. The steadfast support for Israel in destroying Hamas, the attacks on Iran to eliminate their nuclear capability, the relationships with many of these Arab leaders, the trust he had developed, and his willingness to sort of go at this in a very unorthodox and creative way. So I think we have a unique moment where the United States has unique credibility in the region. Everyone in the region, people that have been fighting for thousands of years, are cheering him on. And the United States, of course, plays a unique role of credibility. So I'm just going from what Caroline Leavitt has said in her post. But this is essentially a group that's going to be responsible for ensuring that the phase one and eventually phase two of the peace agreement, along with others, is being implemented. So it's part of a group that will bring credibility to the process. Phase one is extraordinary. We're going to get these hostages home. We're going to begin to withdraw the Israeli forces. But phase two is where it gets tough, because you start handing over the weaponry, destroying the tunnel network. And that's the path to real peace. But I couldn't be more proud of the moment we're in, the leadership of the president, and the opportunity ahead.
One thing that's interesting is I wonder where the ceasefire now crowd is. I mean, these are people like the Squad, and AIPAC put out this statement. Why is the anti-Israel Squad in Congress silent about the peace deal? It's as if they never really cared about the war or the Palestinians. They just used it to demonize Israel, to try to undermine the U.S.-Israel alliance and draw attention to bolster their fundraising. You're there on the Hill. Do you hear from any of them?
Not a word. And it has been truly disgraceful. There were really two surprise attacks that happened on October 7th and soon after. One was the Hamas and the vicious, brutal killing of 1,200 Israelis and Americans. But the second was this rise of anti-Semitism across our country, on our nation's campuses, fed by these extreme liberal groups. You don't hear a lot from them now. If they were really worried about the humanitarian challenges in Gaza, if they're really worried about the opportunity for peaceful coexistence and for really much improved lives for the Gazan people, now's when they would be doubling down on the opportunity that lies ahead. We don't hear a word, which just shows you what the motivations were.
So you're in D.C., but the government is still shut down. It's in its 10th day. And Punchbowl News reported that Chuck Schumer said to them that every day the shutdown gets better for us. It's because we've been thought about this long in absence, and we knew that the health care would be the focal point. I don't know if he was able to actually say all of that in those words. But basically, he was saying that the Democrats seem, in his mind, that things are getting better for them. Meanwhile, there are people that are facing another week of possibility of not getting paid.
Oh, it laid bare what's really going on here. It's disgraceful. This lacks any common sense. It's entirely political. It's the Schumer shutdown. We're 11 days in now. And what's really happening now is federal employees are not getting paid. This is air traffic controllers, TSA, people on the border. On the 15th, military personnel won't get paid. If you're a young private, 18, 19-year-old young man or woman in the Army, you're making a little more than $2,000 a month. You are truly living paycheck to paycheck. They're not going to get paid for their service in protecting all of us. And it's entirely political. What the Democrats have demanded is not only we reopen the negotiations and the legislation that was agreed to in the Big Beautiful Bill, which would allow, among other things, illegal immigrants to get health care, but also kill the $50 billion rural health care fund, which is going to help rural health care in Pennsylvania. But they're also asking for an extension of the Obamacare subsidies that were put in place during COVID, which would add another $1.5 trillion in terms of spending.
Right.
This is completely nonsensical. It was never even beginning to be viable. We need to keep the government open. It's a clean, continuing resolution. There's no political baggage for either side. And we can get down to the business of negotiating and governing on behalf of the American people. And so,
well, the Democrats are trying to fill your political baggage and make it heavier. We'll see what happens. Maybe there'll be a breakthrough over the weekend. If Trump can get Middle East peace, maybe we can get Republicans and Democrats to think and talk together here. Thanks so much, Dave.
Yes, sir. Thanks.